My name is Roy Soiza and I'm a consultant physician at Aberdeen Royal Infirmary. So my day job is really to look after patients with a wide range of medical problems, and I have a special interest in the care of older people. But I also work as a researcher within the NHS. So I conduct clinical trials, initially in older people, but more since the outbreak of the pandemic, I've become a researcher on COVID vaccines especially. We undertake a wide range of studies in the care of older people, from looking at populations to medicines to how we undertake care. But we also have a vaccine studies team that is looking to test a wide range of vaccines as they are made by the manufacturers. So it's an exciting time. Well, a very nice example of how research has changed all of our lives is the vaccine studies that were undertaken during the pandemic. So there was a time where there was panic, I think that's not too strong a word, when COVID broke out, and there were images of hospitals, particularly in Italy, being completely overwhelmed. And there was a real fear that we would see the same in the UK and all over the world. But thanks to vaccine development, we now have vaccines that work. And the crucial step in going from that panic to being in a position where we have functioning vaccines is trialing the vaccines in real people. And that's something that I'm very pleased to say my team undertook here in Grampian with great effect. And now we have vaccines that work. That's not the only thing that we do, but I think it's perhaps a very good example of how participating in a clinical trial can really help everyone. Well, I am very hopeful that we will soon have a vaccine trials team that brings further vaccine trials to the northeast of Scotland and allows people in the northeast to participate in trials. So we have better vaccines that are more effective, that are safer, that are more widely available, both in terms of geography. For example, some of the COVID vaccines had to be kept at extremely low temperatures, which made them impossible to use in rural areas, or so expensive that they could not be used by poorer countries. But with further development and further testing, we will have vaccines that are more effective, easier to use, and are more widely available. No, vaccine development is huge just now, and it won't just be COVID. So there are a wide range of vaccines in development against many other infectious diseases, and indeed we already use vaccines regularly against infectious diseases. But there are two other big areas of development for vaccines that I think will become more and more common. So one is in cancer. There's some evidence already that some vaccines can protect against cancer, and I would anticipate that there will be many more trials in that area. The other area is vaccines against disease processes and aging processes. For example, the hardening of arteries as we get older, and the thinning of arteries that leads to things like heart attacks and stroke. There are already vaccines in development against those processes that might allow us to delay or even prevent some of these events from happening. And so the field is exciting just now. We have an aging population, so it's important that we develop care and treatment that works in everyone, particularly as we age older people that have often been excluded from clinical trials. So that's something I am particularly passionate about. But I am pleased to say, especially after COVID, that the realization that we needed to have more older people in trials and have better evidence for care in older people, that's happened. We've hugely increased the number of older people in our trials, and that'll be to everyone's benefit.